Meteorologist Diane Phillips here on this Thursday as we've had soaking rainfall to start the day. Still a little bit of rain before the winds will be picking up today. You're going to find, though, cloudy skies, and yet at times I've tried to see the sun fighting through some of the holes that we have overhead, but not going to pick up a ton of sun right now. We have to wait for a front to pass, and then the dry slot of our storm. We'll break down what that is on radar here shortly. But when we do have that dry slot come in, it'll allow for a little bit of clearing. So we're going to see that here into the afternoon. But also, though, when we have that clearing, that's when the fans are going to turn on and your wind gusts are really going to peak. And that's just going to allow those winds to stay for the rest of Thursday. But the good news is overnight, the winds will start to settle down for us. It'll still be blustery overnight and even towards tomorrow morning, but at least it won't be like what we have in store this afternoon. Now, here's the structure of our storm. You have the center of your storm. You're going to find that off towards Illinois. And then here's that dry slot I was talking about. So you have enough dry air to where you don't have a lot of moisture, meaning you also don't then have a lot of cloud cover. So this is going to be where the fan kicks on. So we first have the front here. That's going to be bringing just a little bit of moisture around lunchtime. And then we have the dry slot. So here are the winds. Behind it, still a few showers. But as the system pushes off, once we mainly get through the rain, we will be done with the wet weather. And by the time we go into Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, going to be eyeing a dry forecast ahead. So here's that last little bit of the rainfall that moves through during lunch. Behind it, a little bit of clearing, but mainly the dry weather is in place for us. Gusty winds, those will be ramping up during the afternoon time frame. Still, though, allowing those southwest winds to shoot those temperatures up. So already we have some mild temperatures out there, and we're going to continue to see a little more of that warmth to be moved in. But overnight, it's a little bit different. Friday brings us somewhat of a February feel. It's still going to be mild with temperatures in the 40s, but it's just not going to be as warm as what we have today. The cloud cover, that will be in place for us. So if we could have some sun, it'd be great, but potentially might even have a few flurries that are trying to sneak into the forecast, but nothing that's going to really add up to all that much to even put a mention of some precipitation in the forecast. So the wind gusts for today, we've been eyeing the system to see how these winds are going to be impactful for you. And you're going to find they really peak here into the afternoon and early evening time frame. So that's when we're going to have those winds that are around 25 towards 35 miles per hour. Some, though, of those wind gusts could be around 45 miles per hour. We could even see a peak wind that gets close to 50 miles per hour, but many of us are going to see the majority of our wind gusts in that 25 to 35 mile per hour range. Good news is through the evening, though we have a little bit of jump, wind gusts overall are going to be trending down throughout the later half of today and overnight. So like I said, it'll still be a little bit breezy for tonight. If you're out early tomorrow morning, you'll notice some of those winds, but conditions will start to improve on our windy Thursday. Of course, I know you were using the radar on the WTOL 11 weather app this morning as we had that soaking rain, as a lot of kids were headed to the bus stop and people making that commute. So always keep that around even for these trailing lines of rain that we have, but also have those hour by hour temperatures ready to go as well. Keep an eye on the clouds, maybe that peak of sun, and then there's temperatures as we head throughout our forecast. Speaking of temperatures, look at the Buckeye State. We have 64 in Columbus, and not too bad for us. We have 51 in the Toledo area. Just next door into Indiana, you're going to find mid-50s through the state. Further north, you'll see that the mitten there a little bit cooler as that warm front just not making it all that way. So southeast Michigan, even finding some cooler temperatures than their friends across the state line into Ohio. But overall, you can see we have this warm sector of air with these bright, warmer colors, and this is all out ahead of that rainfall that we have that's going to be pushing that cooler air in. Now, for the weekend, it's not going to be too chilly since we mentioned that cold air. You'll find highs on Saturday to be around 40 degrees and 48 by Sunday, so that's a pretty mild feeling. And the good news is we have dry weather for both days. Have those sunglasses, though, as we have sunny skies coming our way Saturday and also on Sunday. So you're going to want to make some plans to be out, maybe break up some of that cabin fever, as this is not really a traditional winter weekend forecast. So like I said, take advantage of it while we have it. But even as I look at the extended forecast, I'm finding a lot of mild temperatures, meaning not a lot of snow talk here. Once we get through the windy weather of today, and those temperatures that have jumped, we do cool out into the 40s for Friday, Saturday, and a little bit of a rebound then on Sunday. Dry weather to come for your weekend plans, and then early next week, it starts out quiet, temperatures into the 50s, kind of giving you those spring thoughts in the forecast. but even some spring showers are going to be likely towards the mid to later half of next week. You'll see that the rain chances do go with some 50s until the last couple of days. We kind of get back to normal. Temperatures into the mid to upper 30s, so that's kind of where we should be for February, but not really a mention as far as some snow in this forecast. Of course, if we do maybe get a hint of winter back in the area, we'll keep you updated on the WTOL 11 weather app.